What is good, friends? Welcome back. One of my viewers asked me if I could share my first anniversary album with you, and I think it was a good idea. So here we go, guys. Yep, the first anniversary album, it was released in March 2022. If I recall, we were in our first Theater of Conquest San Francisco. We had a terrific campaign there, and yeah, it was the first game anniversary, and I found that album a nice touch. You know, when you graduate from school and you see your album, it kind of warms your heart because it reminds you some good moments you had in the game. Yeah, I love this game, and I remember the very first day I started playing this game. With this album, it reminds me of my achievement and the people I fought with and everything. So without further ado, let's dive into the album. We will start the ceremony. I'm gonna save you the medal thing. Now we go back in time, and the first day I start playing this game, it was December 29th, 2020. And on May 25th, 2021, I reached level 32, Commander level 32. Yes, and it may be still the case today, but back in the day, reaching level 32 was like an achievement. It was a milestone. That number 32 on your base was kind of an achievement and an intimidating factor, because people would know that you had a strong base and maybe a strong army, but it was not always the case. If you remember, or if you know, Commander 32 doesn't mean much. It means that you achieve a certain level, but it doesn't have anything to do about the power of your army and your troops and everything. So I knew some players, they would build to level 32 and they would neglect their army, and everybody knew about those guys, and we love to attack them and defeat them quite easily. So yeah, good time. Recruitment drive on December 30, 2020, you formally enlist the Tank Hunter. Yes, my first 5 stars unit. I think I disassembled that unit, or I used that unit to build something else, because it's only later in the game that I retrain and assemble a 7.2 stars Tank Hunter that I didn't use much. You know why. I'm not a fan of this unit, but regardless, yep, that was my first 5-star unit. Then you train your Panther to 43.5k power. Yes, higher than 99.96% of all commanders. Definitely, my Panther is my go-to unit, my most popular unit, the unit I always recommend to assemble. It worked great for me. And a bit later in the game, despite everybody was raving about the super heavy, and when it became crap, everybody went to the medium tank route. Of course, today with version 5.0, I no longer have this unit. I converted into a main battle tank. Still a good time. Boomtown. Yes, over the game, well, when this album was released, I collected almost 9 billion military fund, almost 4 billion in steel, and 3.32 billion in oil. Yes, this game is all about farming, sending those trucks, eh? Eagle-eyed. Meanwhile, your scout planes scout 6,909 patches of fog. Ooh, I do not miss the fog. Do you? I hope not. The fog was in level 1, level 2, level 3. Thank God no more fog in the Theater of Conquest. Back in the day, the fog clearing was a bit different. You had to manually send your plane. It would automatically go back to base when it reaches destination. Now I think it's different. You don't have to do such a manipulation. You don't have to play with it much. I think it auto clear if you send it somewhere. Comment in the give me a shout in the comments below if it's the case now. But back in the day, it was quite annoying, that fog. Ugh, I will not miss that fog. Definitely not. Feather Plucker. You've defeated a total of almost 15,000 Raven troops. As strong as level 45, you destroy 7,835 Raven bunkers up to level 11. Well, this information is not up to date anymore, because back then, when this album was released, I had a really bad campaign in the not the last Moscow, but the first Moscow across the server. The first Moscow inside the server was amazing. Then the next one was quite horrendous. That's why we didn't perform that well. Elite officers. Your officer, Jack Spanner, reached level 60 on December 31st, 2020. Oh, almost for New Year's Eve. Well, for New Year's Eve. Yep. Their faith in you is unshakable. You also have a total of 14 awakened officers. Yep, I've always focused on upgrading and leveling officers because, as you know, they play a huge role in the game. They influence a lot on the power of your units. So Jack Spanner was my first officer I reached, and he's quite easy to level on max level and also awaken with the officer missions. Household name. Your all-time power was 138 million. Now my all-time power is 186 million. 99.90 higher than 99.96% of all commanders. You're one of the best around. Yes, thank you. You also reach VIP level 19. Now I'm VIP level 20. And it took, I think, from level 19 to level 20, I think it took around 6 months. Yep, it takes quite a while. Of course, it depends on how much gold you invest into VIP. And speaking of gold, I spent a total of 10.4 million in gold. Yeah, that's quite a lot. Of course, all the gold I have, I usually spend it. War Hero. Throughout your distinguished service, you've defeated 2.04 million enemies. Yeah, more than 99.97. Now, as of today, September 3rd, 2022, I'm at 3 million. Okay? Theater of Conquest. You participated in 4 Theater of Conquest over the past year with a top rank of 8. Of course, this is not accurate anymore. We complete our 6th Theater of Conquest. And the last one in San Francisco, we finished 4th. Before that, Moscow, we finished 2nd. We led the first place to our 2nd alliance in server 8. And the first San Francisco, I think we finished 1st. Yep. So we got better, I guess. Social Butterfly. You've forged many close bonds on the battlefield. You seem to have a particularly good friendship with Cobra. Yes, Cobra was a player when I started playing this game in 2020. He was one of the strongest players in our Maiden Alliance cult. So we started in level 1, we progressed to level 2 and level 3, and since then I always played with this guy. Of course, we split apart when he stayed in cult and I went to Mu. But essentially, I think he's still playing now. He's a bit less active than before, because time changed, but regardless, yep, he's still around, and he's still in code actually. So it's but you know, guys, a lot of players leave the game, right? But this one is an original player still in action as of today, and us two exchanged 230 messages. Yeah, quite a conversation. Do you still have friends that you met in level 1 city that are still playing? Comments, please. I want to know. Yep, accept. So, yep, that was back in the days, guys. And for those who just starting playing this game, back in the days, it was quite different. Yes, the game was the same, essentially, but when I started playing the game, there was no Raven Spy Hunter there was no paratrooper, there was no Air Force, of course, there was less officers, there was no Theater of Conquest. We waited so long before a Level City 4 map opened. I think back then it was still in drawing when I speak about the version 1.0. We had less unit, of course, less units per barrack, but those units were more powerful. What else was different? So much different things, and when I think about that, the game evolved nicely, I think. More features, more things to do, more officers, more units, and now with the version 5.0 with the modern units, it adds another dimension to the game. I know not everyone agree with the change, and we did lose a lot of players each update. I remember the biggest shocker was from update 1.0 or 1 point something to version 2.0. A lot of players, they quit the game because they didn't like the way that the unit would lose health or energy. Well, anyways, you have to adapt, and of course, if you don't like to play the game anymore, then you just stop playing. And back then, yeah, we're in server 8, and to give you an idea of how much the game progressed, today in 2022, in September 2022, I think they opened the server 33, just to give you an idea. So yep, I still play the game, I still enjoy it, and I still support it. So that's it for my album, guys. I hope you like it. Give me a thumbs up if you did, and if you want to share your album, go ahead. That's it, guys. Have a good weekend.